It was once home to 300,000 people, the centre of radical Sunni Islam and the military stronghold under Saddam Hussein. But in January 2014, Fallujah became the first Iraqi city to fall to Islamic State. 2.5 years later, after 5 weeks of intense fighting, it's back under Iraqi government control, leaving Mosul, Iraq's second largest city, as the extremists' last major hub in the country. The recapture of Fallujah is just the latest in a string of setbacks for ISIL in both Iraq and Syria. Over the past 15 months, Islamic State has lost about a quarter of its territory in both countries. So what does it all mean for Iraq, Syria and beyond? We'll put that question to our distinguished guests in a moment. But first, we begin in Fallujah with CCTV's Jack Barton. And Jack, Fallujah was the scene of some of the bloodiest combat against al-Qaeda back in 2004. This latest government offensive against ISIL began May 23rd, displacing more than 80,000 people. You're in Fallujah. What are conditions like on the ground there?
Well, Fallujah is firmly back under the control of the government forces, and its recapture is being seen as a major turning point in the fight against ISIL. But the situation here still remains very unsafe, far too unsafe for the civilian population to begin returning here. And the latest figure we've got is about 85,000 people displaced from the fighting, 60,000 of whom are at a nearby camp with very little water, very little sanitation, daytime temperatures soaring. So yes, the city is back under the control of the government, but we've just been hearing assault rifle fire, another explosion. Certainly it is still far too risky for civilians to begin returning here.
And Islamic State still controls areas in northern and western Iraq, including Mosul. Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi has vowed to retake that city. What do we know about the situation and plans there?
Well, the big prize all along has been the recapture of Mosul. If the government can achieve this, it will essentially mean destroying ISIL's so-called caliphate within Iraq. No doubt it would still control some small towns and be able to carry out terror attacks, but it wouldn't hold any more major towns or cities, which means it couldn't control large areas of territory. Two big problems. One is that this is the country's second largest city, so the civilian population is much larger than here in Fallujah, and there's no doubt the fighting will spark a humanitarian crisis. The other is the deep distrust between the Shiite militias, the Sunni militias, the Iraqi army, and add into that mix in the north the Kurdish Peshmerga. Now, they did manage to overcome those differences in the end here in Fallujah. It will remain a test, though, in the north in Mosul, and that will be key to recapturing that city.
Thanks, Jack. That was CCTV's Jack Barton reporting from Fallujah. Joining us now from London is Mowaffak al-Rubaie. Among his many posts, he's served as Iraq's first national security advisor following the fall of Saddam Hussein. Thanks so much for joining us from London. First question, of course, has to be, how significant do you think the retaking of Fallujah is in the battle against ISIL?
I think it's pivotal to regain the control of Fallujah for the Iraqi security forces and for the popular mobilization forces as well, because it has a symbolic significance. It's like the moral the moral capital of if you like terrorism and terrorists in general in Iraq in particular and in the Middle East in general. There's going to be a structural change in Fallujah after it's cleaned and after the stabilization phase, and after that reconstruction. There's going to be a huge changes in the way the city will be governed by its own people. Those who have liberated the city from the Sunni Arabs are going to govern and control and maintain the security and stability and hopefully the prosperity of the city.
I wanted to ask you, considering the feeling inside Fallujah and Anbar province as well, do you think this is really the end, considering it has been a form of resistance both to the Baghdad government since the fall of Saddam Hussein, and also a fertile recruiting ground for ISIL? Is there not going to be a vacuum there?
There won't be any vacuum, I believe. There are still pockets of resistance whether in some of the suburbs of Fallujah and other parts of Al-Anbar in general, especially near the borders with Jordan and Syria. But I think Al-Anbar, 99% of Al-Anbar territory has been retaken by the Iraqi security forces with the help of counter-terrorism forces and the popular mobilization forces. What we need now is a stabilization of the province as well as reconstruction. So the Arabs, Sunni Arabs country in the region, the GCC country, need to come up with some money to help the Iraqis in reconstructing these provinces.
There has been a significant humanitarian cost to the retaking of Fallujah. It took a lot longer than the government in Baghdad thought. And also, as you said, with the help of militias as well, some of them Shiite. There have been reports of reprisals, torture, killings as well. Does that not exacerbate the divide in Iraq that's already there?
No, I don't think this is a widespread. I don't think this is a systematic where this is isolated incidents. The Prime Minister and the Commander-in-Chief has gone really heavily against these people, and there are so many of them in prison, and they're going to appear in courts. So I believe these human rights violation, it happens in any war, whether it's among the Iraqi security forces or popular mobilization forces or special forces. This is war, or tribal, or for that matter as well, the Sunni Arab tribal fighters who are fighting with the government against terrorists. So these happens during the war, but they are isolated, and I don't think they are widespread.
Can I ask you to take a broader look at ISIL generally in Iraq? Do you believe that ISIL is now on the back foot after rampaging through Iraq in 2014? The next prize, of course, is Mosul towards the north. Can that be retaken in a similar fashion, or is that going to be much more difficult?
I believe ISIS is on the run now, and Iraq has regained more than 60% of the territory ISIL has taken in June 2014. Now, ISIL has been regressing to their own, if you like, hardcore places like Mosul and Fallujah, which they have lost recently. Since for the last 14 months now, they've never gained anything. All the fights they have entered, they have lost to the Iraqi security forces. Mosul is a completely different kettle of fish, to be quite honest with you.
Why?
It's much bigger, 10 times bigger than Fallujah, number one. Number two, there are so many other factors. There are the Syrian borders factor. There is a Peshmerga and Kurdistan factor. There is also a Turkish factor. There are other players in the region like the PKK. So there are so many other factors need to be taken into consideration. And this is a very large city in population, in size, and I think we need to do a lot of preparation to avoid the unnecessary casualties. Number one, we need to do some political maneuvering with the KRG, some opening of channels with the other players in the region. And also we need to coordinate a lot of logistical support we need from the international alliance, from air, whether they're Americans or Brits, or French. We need not only air support, but we need intelligence gathering as well. We need intelligence analysis, targeting, and we need a lot of support and a lot of help to get Mosul back.
US, of course, has been training Iraqi forces for over a year now, putting in special forces as well. It seems the progress has been patchy from the Americans' concern. They still feel that a lot of Iraqi officers don't turn up, that some 65% of units don't operate to their full potential. What needs to happen to make sure the Iraqi forces continue successes that they've just seen in Fallujah, given the bigger battle for Mosul?
See, after June 2014 and that big loss by the Iraqi security forces, we ended in the last 2 years, we've been trying to reconstruct and rebuild the Iraqi security forces, counterterrorism, and special forces in the Ministry of Interior as well, popular mobilization forces. But this will take time. This is not going to happen overnight. Now, I'm proud to say that we have probably the best counterterrorism and the largest and very well equipped and very well trained professional counterterrorism in Iraq, probably in the whole region. But it's the ordinary Iraqi security forces and the popular mobilization forces. We need a lot of equipment, we need a lot of training. We need to inject this culture of professionalism and also raise the morale of the ordinary soldiers. The morale of our popular mobilization forces is sky high now. But among some of the ordinary soldiers where they're recruited for salaries only, we need to do a lot more, and we need time for this.
Mr. al-Rubaie, if ISIL are put on the back foot and eventually expelled from Iraq and Syria, you still have the potential for sectarian desires. ISIL grew in a garden which there was fertile soil. How do you deal with the long-term divisions of Iraq? You have painted a mosaic of influence coming from different parts of the region, whether it's Shia Iran or Sunni Turkey or various others, including Saudi Arabia. How do you make sure that Iraq can come back together again, or can it?
The catchphrase is inclusiveness, is tolerance, as political solution, as economic reconstruction of Iraq, creating jobs for people, injecting cash in the local economy. And the most important thing is to eradicate the Wahhabi ideology, the Wahhabi theocracy from Iraq in particular and from the whole region in general. So this is the root cause of terrorism in the whole world, is this Wahhabi school of thought, which brought 9/11, which brought Taliban, which brought Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan and Pakistan. Now it's Boko Haram in Nigeria, and brought Yemen, brought Al-Nusra, and now ISIL in Iraq and Syria. So the root cause, the common denominator among all these, if you like, physical military manifestation, is the root cause is the Wahhabism, is this evil faith of exclusion, of extremism, of killing and brutal killing of a human being.